Hello, I'm Mark Collins, and this is the Earth, and I'm standing in front of a smartboard in the library of the Isaac Bildersee Intermediate School, IS-68, located in Canarsie, Brooklyn, New York City. Here at Isaac Bildersee, we have about 1,100 students, a very small fraction of New York City's 1.1 million students. I'm currently standing in the library because the smartboard here is a little bit larger than the one I have in my classroom. I thought it would be better for demonstration purposes. We're zooming in now on Canarsie, and you're just beginning to, I hope, make out Isaac Bildersee Intermediate School, which is located right here. You can zoom in a little bit further, and I can show you precisely where we're located. On the second floor, approximately right here. Hello everybody in West Newbury. I'm Mark Collins, John's youngest son, and I'm here today at the library of Isaac Bildersee Intermediate School at 82nd and Flatlands in Canarsie, Brooklyn, to talk to you a little bit about smartboards. I've shot some footage over a few days, so if you see me in different outfits, that's not wardrobe changes. And also, we might get interrupted with some intercom announcements and things like that, so bear with me if the finished product is a little shoddy. Okay, so welcome again, Henry. Pay attention and behave yourself. And again, we're at Isaac Bildersee here in Canarsie. And this is an introduction to smartboards. And we can just kind of stop there. Okay, so this is what I hope to achieve today. Just a quick introduction to smartboards, how a smartboard works, and how you can interact with one. Why bother, as in this is my little argument for why I think they're a useful tool in the classroom. And then some applications for you guys in your own work. Okay, what is a smartboard? A smartboard is just an interactive whiteboard. So if you imagine a dry erase board, it is basically just that, and it can actually function as a dry erase board as well. But it also has certain interactive abilities as well, and I'll try to demonstrate those today. Okay, in 1991, Smart Technologies, that's a company, started creating interactive whiteboards and called them smartboards. Now, many manufacturers produce some product like the smartboard. They might have a different name for it, but it all pretty much is the same technology. Further, the smartboard tends to be the most popular version of the technology found in schools. One other thing, a smartboard is the name of a product. So though many people now use the term to refer to technology, think of Kleenex, there are many manufacturers out there, and there are many models under different names. Okay, now I'd just like to explain what you need to get your smartboard to work and what equipment needs to go along with it. Number one, the first thing you need is a smartboard with a USB cable. The second thing you need is a digital projector. The one I'm using now is mounted in the ceiling above my head, which is why you're probably seeing a pretty good glare at all times. The third thing you need is a computer, whether it's a laptop or a desktop. You're better off if that computer is already equipped with smart notebook software. Now, the next thing you need to do is you need to connect your digital projector and your computer to a power source. The smartboard itself, unless it has integrated speakers, does not need to be linked to a power source at all. In fact, it will draw all of its power from the USB cable that connects to the computer. And also you need to connect your computer to the digital projector. Stop there. While we're talking about hardware, let me just explain the types of smartboards that are available on the market right now. The one that you're watching me interact with now is the most common, at least the most common in my experience, and that's the front projection smartboard. And it's called that way because you can use an existing projector, which is in front of the smartboard, and project your desired image onto it. Okay? That's the most common, and it's probably the most common in schools because it tends to be the cheapest option. The next is the rear projection smartboard, and that has an integrated projector, which is actually built into the smartboard behind it, and projects onto a transparent smartboard surface. Okay? That's more common in a corporate setting. And the final version, which is the nicest of all, is the flat panel display, which takes an HD or a plasma screen, puts a transparent smartboard membrane on top of it, and then we can interact right directly on it. And that's pretty much the best version. Good stuff. Okay, so now let's talk about how the thing works. A lot of people ask me this question. The technology itself isn't very sophisticated. Really what it is, if you can remember those old-fashioned air hockey tables, basically what you have is an air hockey table with a thin sheet of plastic over it. And that creates a surface of air beneath the surface you see here. And the only thing the smartboard can do, its only function, is that it knows where you depress the surface and therefore displace the air within. What it does is it then transmits that information. See, if you remember, I have a shape button. All I did when I created this slide is I gave it a white background. I created a rectangle. I separated the rectangle in half by creating a straight line. I put a plus sign on over here and a negative sign over here. And let's model the same problem we did a minute ago, which was 8 plus negative 4. And we learned that that is equal to 4. And this is another method, and this is a way that the kids, and actually one of the reasons I like this unit is because it's a great way to get the kids to learn how to use the smartboard, because it's very simple. The way you do a domino is this. When you're adding two integers, it doesn't work for subtraction, there's a caveat there. When you're adding two integers, what you're going to do is you're going to look at your terms. Here we have a positive term, and we have a negative term. Since we have a positive term, I'm going to put 8 positives over here in the positive range. I'm going to put 4 negatives over here in the negative range. So here's my 8 positives. We'll call positive the red one, and we'll call negatives the blue one. I might be standing in the way of the blue one. Again, this has been infinitely cloned, so I can drag over 1, 2, 3, 4. Now watch this. Instead of doing 4 more, I'll just clone these, and look at that. Now I've got 8 red positive ones representing my positive 8. And now I'm going to bring, just like that, I'm going to bring my 4 negatives over here. 1, oops, excuse me, didn't come all the way. 1, I'll tell you what, let's just infinitely clone that from here to save some time. Infinite clone. There we go. So now I've got 8 on my positive side and a negative 4. Positive 8, negative 4. And what the students do now is for every one on this side, we're going to cross out one on this side. So when I cross this out, that crosses that out. When I cross this out, that crosses that out. And then we'll run out of ones to cross out, and therefore what is our sum? It's a positive 4. All right? It's a little bit more fun than a worksheet. It's a much better way to teach it, and then I can bring the kids up and they can do it again and again. Okay? And so that's another way to use the smartboard that's kind of interactive.